welcome to Bickering Book Reviews. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Becky.
And today we're talking about The Storm Runner by J.C. Cervantes. I got this as a physical arc from the publisher at BEA. How about you?
I did too, but I downloaded the arc off of NetGalley because life got in the way.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why I did it. This book is about Zane, who is living in the middle of New Mexico, near this volcano, which he kind of owns. He doesn't really own it.
It's his volcano, though.
He just has decided it's his volcano. And he's poking around there one day, and some really gnarly looking dude pops up and crash lands into the volcano. And then Zane starts seeing these magical creatures. And he's brought kind of into this prophecy that they've told about him where he will unleash I'm assuming it's like the Mayan equivalent of the devil.
Or even Hades?
Okay, like that kind of Mayan equivalent. He's been trapped for years, and it's prophesized that Zane's going to let him loose. So now all of the world is kind of keyed into that fact. So he's seeing more magical creatures, and then this girl pops up who is a shapeshifter, and she's kind of his friend to kind of redirect where the prophecy goes to make it better than it was. And lo and behold, he lets Hades, the evil dude, out, and now he has to put the guy back in the box and stop the gods from going to war.
And he's the child of a Mayan god.
It's essentially Percy Jackson set in the Mayan world.
Which was my problem.
Yeah,
yeah. And this book is getting positive reviews, and this was another author that was at an event. We went to a book expo, and she seemed perfectly nice, and she really, really...
We saw her?
Yeah, she was at the lunch.
Oops.
She was at the lunch.
I don't remember what happened yesterday. What happened in May?
But, okay, so, and everything, it seems great, but to me, Rick Riordan has started his own label now. And the first book was Arusha. And Arusha was similar to Percy Jackson, but the characters were very, to me, the characters felt very original, very fresh. Their storyline felt very original and fresh. To me, this felt like a generic version of Percy Jackson.
I really wanted to like this book.
I really
wanted to like this book. Because there's a lot of things going for it. I mean, not only do you have the Mayan gods, but you've also got a main character whose one leg is longer than the other, so he walks with a cane. That's not something you typically see. You've got Spanish peppered throughout. I really wanted to like this book, and I just couldn't.
And the kids at my library love anything Rick Riordan puts out. So I was and they've been taking Arusha, and I was yay, another book, because literally they have read it all, and they're literally, why isn't the new book out? And I'm well, because publisher says it's a year, you gotta wait. And I just don't think that the people, the die-hard Percy Jackson fans who have grown with that series, I don't think they're going to accept this. And part of it is the character's 13, which means he reads 10, 11-year-olds are going to want to read it. But this book is over 400 pages long.
So that kind of gets me back to kind of where my main kind of gripe is with it. Percy Jackson was kind of developed for reluctant readers. I mean, he wrote it using his son who has a learning disability. Reluctant reader, that's their wheelhouse. If I showed this book to a reluctant reader, just based on the size alone, they would run away screaming from me. Or probably throw it at my head. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, but and the thing is, it's not even I can sell it to them. Because sometimes kids will run away screaming, you've got Hugo Cabaret, and they're no! But you're hey, look at all the pictures and stuff, it's really cool. In this one, the plot doesn't drive you enough, and the characters don't drive you enough for you to even want to convince these reluctant readers who have trouble kind of finding books that they connect to.
Well, and I felt the characters, there wasn't enough personality with the characters. I finished reading the book, and I went to write my review on Goodreads, and I couldn't remember the uncle who goes on the epic journey's name with him.
Well, I have trouble remembering the main character's name, so...
That's true. and I don't want to just trash the book, because I think there are people who are going to read this book, and I think there are people who are going to like this book, but
I just think it needs to be edited more, honestly.
It does, and maybe it will be. We read an arc, so maybe it will be.
I think that there is a lot more that needs to be done to this book before it comes out. I think it's clunky the way she adds in the Spanish words. I appreciate it, but she adds it in but doesn't explain what the words mean. Not that she necessarily has to, but there should be kind of context clues.
There should be
that
a
explain
flow.
it. Like,
well, to me, the whole book was clunky. Like the action
yeah.
sequences were clunky. And so maybe it's gonna be maybe it's being edited and we don't have a final copy. I don't know. I also wasn't thrilled with the way that she depicted his issues with his cane and his limp.
I think that really toes the line. I personally don't think that it was offensive, but it's borderline offensive. And maybe it is. I want to see how like communities or people, who have different issues react to it.
I get that it's in his head what he's feeling, but just some of the things that she said kind of felt derogatory towards having a limp and having these issues. And I was like, if I give this to a kid with these issues, how are they going to feel?
Will the kid feel empowered?
They're not going to feel empowered.
Especially because all throughout, there are different points throughout the plot where magically they take away his limp.
And he becomes more successful when magically they take away the limp. He's not as empowered when he has the limp. And,
I mean, I think you could argue that may be kind of how he feels about himself and how he sees himself. However, I think it seriously toes the line.
It does. It does.
So, all right, I think we just need to rate this thing.
We will.
So, our rating scale goes from 5 unicorns down to 2 unicorns. If we really didn't like it, it doesn't get a horn and is therefore a horse. Where are you?
So, in Goodreads, I said a 3, but the more we talk about it, I'm kind of merging towards a 2.
See, I never hit a 3 level. I was always a 2.
Yeah, I think I'm at a 2. Part of me, I will give a book a 3 if I'm I can find a kid to give this book to because I work in a community of readers and
Well, the thing is, and not to really get into it, but the big readers that read Percy Jackson in my community would not be allowed to read this book.
Oh, really?
Based on content and the things that he says and the things that he does.
Oh. So that is where we are on Stormrunner by
J.C. Cervantes.
J.C. Cervantes. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.